प्रसीदा प्रसीदा ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं श्रीं महालक्ष्म्यै नमः। ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं श्रीं कमले प्रसीदा प्रसीदा ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं श्रीं महालक्ष्म्यै नमः। ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं श्रीं कमले प्रसीदा प्रसीदा ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं श्रीं महालक्ष्म्यै नमः। ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं श्रीं कमले प्रसीदा प्रसीदा ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं श्रीं महालक्ष्म्यै नमः। ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं श्रीं कमले प्रसीदा प्रसीदा ॐ श्रीं ह्रीं श्रीं महालक्ष्म्यै
की सभी महादेवियों सभी दिव्य आत्माओं को मेरा नमस्ते। अपनी पीठ सीधी रखते हुए आराम से बैठे और देवी क्रिया की शुरुआत करें। हम 3 ओम का जाप करेंगे और अपनी पूर्ण आत्मा और ब्रह्मांड की सभी महादेवियों और ईश्वरी शक्तियों को हमारे अंदर आने के लिए आमंत्रित करेंगे। अब बीज मंत्र के साथ सभी महादेवियों का आवाहन करेंगे। ॐ ऐं 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 ह्रीं 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 श्रीं 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 क्लीं 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 नमः। अब हम पहला स्तर शुरू करेंगे, जिससे हमारे चक्रों में ऊर्जा आएगी और मन शांत होने लगेगा। कल्पना करें कि एक सुंदर और सुनहरी रोशनी की चमकती हुई किरण आपकी पूर्ण आत्मा से आपके सहस्रार चक्र के द्वारा आपके शरीर को दिव्यता से भर रही है। ये रोशनी 4 चरणों के द्वारा आपके सभी चक्रों में प्रवेश करेगी। पहला चरण, तीसरे नेत्र में ध्यान दें और आध्यात्मिक विचारों और धारणाओं को शांत होने दें। कल्पना करें कि यह सुनहरी रोशनी आपके तीसरे नेत्र को दिव्यता से भर रही है। अपनी 2 उंगलियों को माथे के बीच बिंदी की जगह पर रखें और बाईं नासिका से तीसरे नेत्र के प्राणायाम यानी अनुलोम विलोम को शुरू करें। सांस अंदर, रोकें, सांस बाहर, रोकें, सांस अंदर, रोकें, सांस बाहर, रोकें, सांस अंदर, रोकें, सांस बाहर, रोकें, सांस अंदर, रोकें, सांस बाहर, विश्राम करें। दूसरा चरण, हृदय चक्र पर ध्यान दें और वैश्विक विचारों और धारणाओं को शांत होने दें। कल्पना करें कि ये सुनहरी रोशनी आपके हृदय के चक्र को दिव्यता से भर रही है। चिन्ह मुद्रा धारण करें और हृदय चक्र के प्राणायाम को शुरू करें। सांस अंदर, रोकें, सांस बाहर, रोकें, सांस अंदर, रोकें, सांस बाहर, रोकें, सांस अंदर, रोकें, सांस बाहर, रोकें, सांस अंदर, रोकें, सांस बाहर, विश्राम करें। तीसरा चरण, नाभि चक्र पर ध्यान दें और मानसिक विचारों और धारणाओं को शांत होने दें। कल्पना करें कि यह सुनहरी रोशनी आपकी नाभि के चक्र को दिव्यता से भर रही है। ध्यान मुद्रा धारण करें और नाभि चक्र के प्राणायाम को शुरू करें। सांस अंदर, रोकें, सांस बाहर, रोकें, सांस अंदर, रोकें, सांस बाहर, रोकें, सांस अंदर, रोकें, सांस बाहर, रोकें, सांस अंदर, रोकें, सांस बाहर, विश्राम करें। चौथा चरण, मूलाधार चक्र पर ध्यान दें और भौतिक और शारीरिक विचारों और धारणाओं को शांत होने दें। कल्पना करें कि यह सुनहरी रोशनी आपके मूलाधार चक्र को दिव्यता से भर रही है। ध्यान मुद्रा को रखते हुए अपने अंगूठों को सीधा कर लें। सांस अंदर, रोकें, सांस बाहर, रोकें, सांस अंदर, रोकें, सांस बाहर, रोकें, सांस अंदर, रोकें, सांस बाहर, रोकें, सांस अंदर, रोकें, सांस बाहर, विश्राम करें। अब एक और ओम का जाप करते हुए इस सुनहरी रोशनी को अपने मूलाधार चक्र से नीचे जाने दें और धरती माँ के केंद्र में जहाँ सुनहरा प्रकाश है उसके साथ मिल जाने दें। अब हम दूसरा स्तर शुरू करेंगे जिससे हमारे चक्रों की सफाई होगी। अपने सहस्रार चक्र से सुनहरी रोशनी के साथ आत्म भावनाओं को आमंत्रित करें, जैसे आनंद, प्रेम, स्वतंत्रता, शांति, करुणा, क्षमा, कृतज्ञता और समर्पण। इन आत्म भावनाओं के द्वारा अगले 4 चरणों में अपने चक्रों से मानसिक भावनाओं को पिघलते हुए धरती माँ में समाहित होते हुए देखें। पहला चरण, अपनी 2 उंगलियों को माथे के बीच बिंदी की जगह पर रखें और तीव्र नाड़ी शोधन के लिए तैयार हो जाएं। अब आत्म भावनाओं के द्वारा तीसरे नेत्र की सफाई शुरू करें। विश्राम करें। सांस अंदर, रोकें, सांस बाहर। दूसरा चरण, दोनों हाथों में मुट्ठी बनाकर कंधों के पास रखिए और भस्त्रिका के लिए तैयार हो जाएं। अब आत्म भावनाओं के द्वारा हृदय चक्र की सफाई शुरू करें। विश्राम करें। सांस अंदर, रोकें, सांस बाहर। तीसरा चरण, दोनों हथेलियों को ऊपर की तरफ खोलकर अपने घुटनों पर रखें और कपालभाति के लिए तैयार हो जाएं। अब आत्म भावनाओं के द्वारा नाभि चक्र की सफाई शुरू करें। विश्राम करें। सांस अंदर, रोकें, सांस बाहर। चौथा चरण, दोनों हाथों में मुट्ठी बनाकर घुटनों पर रखें, अंगूठों को आसमान की तरफ सीधा करें और मूलाधार भस्त्रिका के लिए तैयार हो जाएं। अब आत्म भावनाओं के द्वारा मूलाधार चक्र की सफाई शुरू करें। विश्राम करें। देखें कि ये सभी आत्म भावनाएं आपके मूलाधार से नीचे की ओर धरती माँ के केंद्र में प्रवेश कर रही हैं और धरती माँ इन्हें बहुत आनंद से अवशोषित कर रही हैं। अब एक और ओम का जाप करते हुए इस सुनहरी रोशनी को आपकी पूर्ण आत्मा से और धरती माँ के केंद्र में जहाँ सुनहरा प्रकाश है वहाँ से दोनों दिशाओं से अपने हृदय में आने दें और फिर हृदय से इस दिव्य रोशनी को अपने सारे शरीर में एक सतरंगी प्रकाश के रूप में जाने दें। अब हम तीसरा स्तर शुरू करेंगे जिससे हमारे चक्रों में एकता आएगी और शरीर सतरंगी प्रकाश से भर जाएगा। अगले 4 चरणों में सतरंगी प्रकाश से शरीर को अनंत आनंद, अकारण प्रेम और सारी आत्म भावनाओं से भर दें। हर सांस के साथ अपने आप को हल्का और हल्का महसूस करें। पहला चरण, अपना ध्यान तीसरे नेत्र में रखिए। तीसरा नेत्र सतरंगी प्रकाश से भरता जा रहा है और ये प्रकाश आपके शरीर में और आपके जीवन में सहज बुद्धि ला रहा है। विश्राम करें। सांस अंदर, सांस बाहर। सांस अंदर, सांस बाहर। सांस अंदर, सांस बाहर। विश्राम करें। दूसरा चरण, अपना ध्यान हृदय चक्र पर रखिए। आपका हृदय चक्र सतरंगी प्रकाश से भरता जा रहा है और ये प्रकाश आपके शरीर में और आपके जीवन में अकारण प्रेम का विस्तार कर रहा है। विश्राम करें। तीसरा चरण, अपना ध्यान नाभि चक्र पर रखिए। आपका नाभि चक्र सतरंगी प्रकाश से भरता जा रहा है और ये प्रकाश आपके शरीर और आपके जीवन में आनंद फैला रहा है। सांस अंदर, सांस बाहर। सांस अंदर, सांस बाहर। सांस अंदर, सांस बाहर। विश्राम करें। चौथा चरण, अपना ध्यान मूलाधार चक्र पर रखिए। आपका मूलाधार चक्र सतरंगी प्रकाश से भरता जा रहा है और ये प्रकाश आपके शरीर में स्वस्थता और आपके जीवन में समृद्धि स्थापित कर रहा है। सांस अंदर, सांस बाहर। सांस अंदर, सांस बाहर। सांस अंदर, सांस बाहर। विश्राम करें। आप निलंबित श्वास की स्थिति में हैं, शून्यता की स्थिति। कोई विचार नहीं, कोई श्वास नहीं, और स्थिति में जितना संभव हो उतना रहें। पूरी तरह से शांति में और शून्यता में। जितनी देर चाहें ऑडियो को बंद कर सकते हैं, और जब आनापानासति ध्यान से बाहर आना हो तो ऑडियो वापस शुरू कर सकते हैं। जब आपको सांस लेने की आवश्यकता हो तो आप धीरे धीरे सांस ले सकते हैं और इस सतरंगी प्रकाश को धरती माँ के केंद्र तक बहते हुए देखें। देखें कि धरती माँ आपकी पूर्ण आत्मा के दिव्य प्रकाश से पूरी तरह प्रकाशित हो गई है, और अब इस सुंदर प्रकाशित स्थान में सभी महादेवियों और ईश्वरीय शक्तियों को धन्यवाद करें जो इस क्रिया के दौरान हमारी मदद, मार्गदर्शन और सुरक्षा कर रही हैं। अब देवी मंत्र का उच्चारण करेंगे।
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः।
अब हम 3 ओम का जाप करेंगे और देवी क्रिया का समापन करेंगे। अपने हाथों को मलकर अपनी आँखों को ढक लें और धीरे धीरे अपनी हथेलियों की आड़ में अपनी आँखें खोलें और इस दिव्य स्थिति में जितनी देर चाहें रहें। नमस्ते।
Namaste everyone. Namaste. Welcome everybody. हिंदी में सुनने वालों उनका भी स्वागत। तो हमें आगे कैसे बढ़ना है इसके बारे में थोड़ी चर्चा करेंगे। We will discuss a little bit on how we shall move forward with this 1000 seeds of joy. So the plan is going like this. Each week we can get translations not just in Hindi. English of course exists not only in Hindi, but we can get it even in Telugu and Marathi. And due to the gifts of technology, we will most likely be able to offer them in the languages, even in the audio files. So today I will play an audio recording. This is actually not made by any AI. This is, I had gone to Croatia and then Ananda Devi and I recorded the book audio file. Ananda Devi is one of the Devi teachers on our path. She really carries a lot of Lakshmi energy, and so we recorded this. This was done actually a while back. So we'll play that, and similar recordings will be made available in Hindi for the Hindi translation, even for Telugu, Marathi. So the timing it might take us a few weeks to get those going with 11 Labs. That's the software. But once we do that, then the invitation is for you all to run your own circles in the languages, because you can read the entire chapter, will be read to you in the language that you like, whether it is English or Hindi or some other languages. And what we will do is focus more on English here, simply because when the book was channeled, a lot of the words, energy, all of that came through English, working initially even with Jade Devi for 1/3 of the book. So that is more natural, and there is no issue then with North India, South India. People who speak Hindi also can somewhat understand English, but not maybe totally. So there is a request to do these in Hindi. So now longer vision is that we are doing these book circles. We are learning all of this so that you can run your own book circles in the languages you want. So once the audio files are available for every chapter, 33 chapters, then you can easily run your book circle. You want to share this wisdom with friends or whoever, family, they can join. You can do it daily, once we have all of these chapters ready, or you can do them weekly, however you like. So that is the plan. So let us do the audio book today, and audio file today. We'll listen to the whole chapter, and then we'll go on a journey of breath. We will get into an anapanasati breath. Through that, then we'll try to go deep into the wisdom that is being shared. So let me play the audio file and you just listen. So get into, close your eyes and feel your breath. Surrender to your breath. These are wisdom breath book circles. You are not listening, your breath is listening. Go that deep into the breath. Once there is no you, then it will go much, much deeper. So let me start.
Chapter 2: The Infinite Soul Feelings.
Now we had done most of this chapter, so I will go towards the end of this chapter where we had some part remaining. We can cover that.
Not have as much joy as one had in the past. Does this not
would be merged with the joy of the present, joining all time into primordial joy.
But what happens when the mind is convinced that the present moment does not have as much joy as one had in the past? Does this not cause suffering?
The suffering is created by holding on to the memories of joys in the past and forgetting that infinite primordial joy is available here and now in the sacred emptiness of the present moment. From this space of emptiness, which is also fullness, no effort is made to repeat the joyous moments of the past. However, it is the nature of the mind to ruminate on the past, not realizing that a higher choice exists. The mind can surrender to the body and the soul, which are windows to the infinite presence, here and now.
Generally, we associate joy with positive situations in our life. However, don't we also feel a perverse joy in the present moment when bad things happen to others?
Thoughts, emotions, and attachments to body sensations clump together to create the ego, which hides one's suffering. Living with an ego is suffering, and thus, when one lives from the ego, one may find momentary pleasure in another's suffering. Such fleeting pleasures of the ego are not joy. The ego creates the illusion of joy and leaves one drained after the momentary pleasure. The primordial joy that we speak of exists deep within your soul and the higher self. This joy is uncaused and unconditional, and it has no beginning and no end. This joy does not see any separation between the self and the other, because there is no ego in this joy. One experiences this joy when the mind is completely silent. From the place of this egoless awareness, one feels everyone's joy as one's own joy.
So I believe that was the ending of chapter 2. So let's discuss this a little bit before we move on to chapter 3. So here, what is going on is we are going deeper and deeper into joy, and even our attachments to joy, which does what? that creates suffering. So I begin by asking, when we think of our joy in the past, which we don't have now, then does that not create suffering? And Saraswati Ma answers in this that the suffering happens because we don't have a feeling of, we don't have a soul feeling, we don't have gratitude towards that past. We are yearning for that past and not realizing that because of that yearning, we are not feeling the present. Right now, there is infinite joy available. And this is what the mind does. We are infinite beings and we are hanging on to little uh, finite little joys that we think we don't have, but we have infinite joy. That is the magic of breath. When you listen to these, surrender to the breath. Breath going in, breath going out, breath going in, breath going out, and the breath merging. There's a place where in breath becomes the out breath. As you breathe in, the energy is also going out as it comes in and it starts merging. It's a high state, and in that merging, you start experiencing the space, the gap that is the infinity, that's available right here, right now. That's why meditation is important. It's the door to that infinity, in that the mind dissolves. But we don't have time for that. We are hankering for the past, creating ambition for the future. The mind takes over. So this is about joy. The name of the book is Thousand Seeds of Joy, but even attachment to joy is different from experiencing joy. Experiencing joy is through techniques, through processes where you let the mind dissolve. Even the mind that is chasing after joy. That's what Buddhism was all about, right? Buddha said the cause of the suffering is desire. Desire for what? Desire for joy. And so that is where breath and body and soul comes in, because it gives you soul feelings. As I said, all of the joy of your past, can you feel it with gratitude? A feeling of surrender to gratitude, that you had so much joy. Just feel gratitude. And you don't have it today, let's say, but have gratitude. That will start connecting you to the past in a different way. Problem is not the past or future, which a lot of the, not a lot, but there's a sort of a misunderstanding about the present moment. Many teachers might say, live in the present. The goddesses say the present includes the past and the future with gratitude, with soul feelings. Feel the joy of the past with gratitude. Make peace with your past. Don't yearn for the past. Make peace with it. harmonize with it with gratitude and surrender to the future. Surrender completely, whatever the unknown is. If you do that, then past and future are okay. There is no problem. The problem with past and future is we are dealing with them with emotions. We're missing the past. We are regretting the past. We are angry at our past. We dwell too much on the suffering of the past and complain and feel guilt, feel all the emotions. That's the problem. Can you feel joy about the past? Can you feel gratitude about the past? Can you thank the past? Can you be happy that the past that you had created the present you have now? And it's a soul cycle, and now you are coming back within yourself. Then past has no problem. In fact, past can help you. In your meditations, remember those childhood moments when you surrender to nature, the moments that can still bring tears to your eyes. That past is amazing. That past can get you closer to feeling of gratitude and realizing what you don't have now and surrendering to meditation. There's also another wisdom about the past, about connecting with your previous lives. You know how this universe works is we've had many lives. Many of these lives are lives where we had spiritual growth, where we experienced those enlightenments. Some are even in different worlds where we have exquisite memories of being in states which are deeply spiritual. Sometimes with slight gift, going deeper in meditation and connecting, you can invoke those lifetimes. That is the past. But invoking those lifetimes will allow those frequencies to come in now. That's why many times they say, you just have to remember what you have forgotten. Just have to remember because you have known this. You came from the grand soul that you were. You fell from there, so you have memories. And we are going back. Just remembering the higher self where you came from, that is also your past. So there's no problem with the past. It's how you connect with the past. In a deep surrender with gratitude, reflecting on those amazing childhood moments, going even deeper in meditation, connecting with lifetimes of more enlightened living, sometimes even in different universes. The present moment includes all of time, but what do you choose out of that time? Do you choose to reflect on just suffering, complaining, feeling guilt, feeling shame, feeling sorrow, feeling regret? Do you choose to connect with the past in that manner? Or do you connect with the past with real joy of where you came from, the higher self, the childhood, all of that? As you reflect on that, you invite that level of awareness, and that soul remembrance can be a door. So the question was, when we think of the joys in the past which we don't have now, does that not create suffering? And the answer is, think of all of that with gratitude, soul feeling, right? And so that is one way to move forward. And then we will now go into chapter 3. So let me play that. Anybody wants to share anything? Any sharing? Then there was one more comment, because in the real world that exists. So I asked, don't we feel joy when other people have suffering? Don't people do that sometimes? And of course, this happens when we're living in a very emotional way. So this question was watching the behavior of people around me. This would happen. So Saraswati Ma gives an answer to that this happens. Yeah, the ego will feel good when somebody who is our enemy, they lose. That ego feels free and happy, oh, this happened. But think about it, that's very temporary, very, very short term. It lasts just a couple of minutes and then you're back to your suffering world. The ego is created how? It's all of the residues of the past, all of the emotional residues, the unmet desires, what you could not achieve, the pain, the suffering, that starts accumulating as impressions. As you go from childhood into puberty, into adulthood, that starts happening. You start comparing, you start feeling, your self-image, and you start accumulating different forms of suffering which you have not dealt with, and that slowly, and that with remembrance of your past lives and karma, that slowly starts building the ego, and you come into adulthood and there's the ego. Now, ego was created with suffering. So when something is created with suffering, it will feel joy when it sees suffering in others, because that is what it is. The ego is itself created from suffering. So it enjoys when it sees suffering in others. But its nature is suffering, so even after that little joy, that little release, it will start suffering again. That's not a solution. But still a question, because a lot of people feel that when the others lose, they win. A lot of people win just so that the others can lose, just to show to the world that they are the best and they can defeat everybody. This is not so, like, don't say this happens only to others. Almost everybody can do this. What is the joy when people feel when their sports team wins and the other loses? What is that? This happens all over the world. People have their favorite teams and they feel joy when their team wins and the other loses. What is that? So, this kind of joy, when somebody is losing, enjoying into that, that happens because ego itself is created out of suffering. Once you understand the nature of ego and unattach yourself from the ego, you're not the ego, you are the higher self. Let the ego slowly dissolve. Ego is connected to all these emotions of suffering. Let all of that dissolve. Come to the present like the child, feeling the body sensations every minute, feeling your senses, soul feelings, that indescribable joy of being in nature. Once you start living like that, then there is no joy in seeing people suffer or lose. Then you feel empathy, sympathy, compassion. Kuan Yin Ma feels so much compassion that she vows that she will not get fully enlightened until she has got every sentient being enlightened in the universe. That much compassion arises. You can feel Kuan Yin Ma's compassion when you visit China. China politically is very different than the culture. Kuan Yin temples are everywhere, and you can feel that in the people. If you deeply connect with people, you can feel it. So that compassion, that will happen when there is no ego, because suffering is everywhere and you want to work to remove suffering. So all of these are traps of joy, missing the past, feeling joy when other people suffer, and all of this is happening because of the ego. And so you have to meditate, go into those moments where the in breath and out breath merge, where you are no longer there, the body is breathing. And so let's get into that. Mix wisdom with breath. So start feeling your breath as we move into the next chapter. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. As you become more aware of the breath, the hold of the emotions and ego reduces. And if you go deeper and deeper, and start feeling the breath becoming shallow, more shallow, then in breath meets the out breath. And as the breath merges, You go into no breath, sometimes with sensations of joy, and sometimes you can remain deep in that bliss. And that is the place we revisit as we listen to this wisdom. So now we'll play chapter 3.
Chapter 3, The Holy Trinity. How can the knowledge of soul feelings help us in our spiritual transformation?
Knowing the relationship between different layers of consciousness allows one to know which layer can transform which. The bigger layer always transforms and subsumes the smaller layer. The infinite emptiness in which all divine beings rest is the bigger layer, and it is beyond the duality of even consciousness and non-consciousness. This layer contains everything and nothing, and is beyond both. The oceans of soul feelings are smaller than the infinite emptiness into which they all pour and join together in absolute oneness. Soul feelings range from infinite oceans to finite oceans. The giant lakes of body sensations are smaller than the infinite oceans of soul feelings. The little iceberg of mind is smaller than the giant lakes of body sensations in which it floats. The tip of the iceberg, representing the conscious mind, is smaller than the hidden part of the iceberg, which includes the subconscious mind, just below the surface, and the unconscious mind, deep below the surface. Let me ask you this. When you think of the universe at various levels of size, from a galaxy to a star, to a human, to a cell, to an atom, how much bigger is an object at one level from that of the next level?
So before we go too deep into the next question, let's reflect on this very, very deep wisdom. So Saraswati Ma is talking about 4 levels of consciousness, starting from higher self and then going into the soul, then into the body and the mind. And the infinite emptiness, that is the level of the higher self. But that infinite emptiness is so deep that there are no words for it. Even consciousness has a limiting word to it. The limitation is whatever you know about consciousness. But there may be consciousness that you don't know about, the levels of being, the incredible blissful states that you don't know about. If you don't know about them, then they are not included in what you call consciousness. There might be states which don't even feel like consciousness. They're almost like death-like you don't exist, and yet there is a bliss. It's hard to conceptualize this, but the closest you can come to is the childhood when you were there and not there. There was such freedom, complete freedom, because there were no thoughts. You were not there and there. You were not there as a ego. You were not there with thoughts of I am this. And yet you were there. There were those bliss moments. Nature, wonder, everything. And that's the nature of the higher self. It's not there and it's there. It's not there in the sense of ego. It's there in the sense of presence. And then she's talking about as you fall from this infinity, then you go into infinite soul feelings, primordial joy that creates universes, bliss that people talk about in meditation, incredible, infinite feelings. And from there you fall, those are like the infinite oceans, into finite oceans. The everyday love that you experience, it's still love, but it's finite. And from that soul, with soul feelings, manifest physical universes. There are realms of consciousness which are before physicality. That is just the soul, the higher heavens, the pure lands, Shuddha Bhumi they call in Hindi. All of these exist before physicality, and then once you come in physicality, there's body sensations. And body sensations, senses, that's even before the mind is born. All the trees and animals, they feel all these body sensations. They are so present. When you look at the dog and you look at the eyes of the dog, there is a presence you can feel. Even when you look at your cat and you look at their eyes, there's incredible presence. You can feel it. All animals, most of the animals, almost always, unless they are sick or something, they're fully present, watching, listening, their sense of smell extending to sometimes large distances. How does that happen? Because they're fully present to body sensations, which humans forget because they get into the mind. So the falling from soul happens to the body, but we underrate the body. The body is immense magical instrument. There's stories in the second book about the fish, salmon, what incredible feats they do. It's all through body sensations. So we forget this and we get into the mind of emotions and ego, and that's the falling that she's describing. So then the question she asks me in this case is, she's asking, when you see these different levels, you have the suns, the planets, from the planets a human being, from a human being to a cell, from a cell to an atom. As you go these different levels, what is the level of difference? And so I'll play the audio again. And this is based on my research. I answer this.
Scientists say that it is billions or trillions of times. For example, our own galaxy, the Milky Way, has hundreds of billions of stars. I do not know how many humans can fit inside a star, but I'm sure it's more than I can even imagine. A human body has tens of trillions of cells, and each cell has about 100 trillion atoms.
The differences in the level of consciousness are somewhat similar to this. The infinite emptiness is much vaster than each of the soul feelings. The infinite oceans of soul feelings are much vaster than the giant lakes of body sensations. The giant lakes of body sensations are to the little iceberg of mind what a cell is to an atom.
Oh, real.
So think about how vast this knowledge that was just shared, that the differences are between galaxies and planets and human beings and cells. Each cell has how many? Like trillions, 100 trillion atoms. That's a vast amount, and we have hundreds of billions of cells in the body, and there are billions of human beings on Earth, and there are billions of suns in a galaxy, and similarly, millions and billions of galaxies in the universe. So these differences, which are so huge, is similar to the difference between the higher self, soul feelings, body sensations, and the mind. Now imagine you are living mostly in your mind. Okay? You're living mostly in your mind. It's like living on that iceberg. And there are giant lakes, infinite lakes in which the iceberg can melt. And even in the iceberg, you're living only on the tip of the iceberg, the conscious mind. Below the surface is the subconscious, which is bigger. If you look at the iceberg, the bottom part is much bigger. And the unconscious is much bigger. But it's still just an iceberg compared to the giant lakes, which is your body sensations, which is what allows, animals to smell 1 kilometer away. They can hear, they can smell, they can see much more than human beings can. And they can experience all of that. The fish salmon is so connected to its oversoul. It's, that's coming in the next book. Some animals don't have souls like we do, they have oversoul. Oversoul connects many fish together. It's not individualized. So salmon can travel for 3-4 months against the currents. So current is going one way. It is born in a river, and then as it grows into adulthood, it goes into the ocean from the river. And then at some point, when it is, a few years, it starts the journey back. It starts swimming against the current for months and months. Comes back exactly to where it was born. That is where it will reproduce. How in the world does the salmon travel hundreds of miles, thousands of miles sometimes, back to the same exact spot they've proven? This is the magic of body sensations. No mind can do this. No human mind can attain that feat, because those body sensations are at a much higher level. Like the differences between galaxy size and planet, that's the difference between what we feel in our body sensations and what some of the animals are feeling. It is vastly more infinite. And as you see these differences in levels of consciousness, you realize, oh my God, I'm spending my time only with this little mind. Same thoughts of ambition, same things go on day after day, month after month, year after year, and I'm getting older. And I'm just this iceberg where I could have been the giant lake, I could have been the giant ocean, I could have been the whole infinity. And I'm spending my time being an iceberg. So that is what is being shared by this example.
Really, our mind is so much smaller than our body sensations.
While the body is finite, it is much vaster than the mind. The body can digest and transform all contents of the mind, including thoughts, emotions, intellect, memory, and the ego. Experiencing these contents at the conscious, the subconscious and the unconscious levels as sensations of the body leads to a great inner transformation. Surrendering the conscious mind into the body with yoga, breath, and tantric methods opens the door to the subconscious mind and the unconscious mind.
This is so deep that I have to stop it right here. So much is shared here that all of these thoughts, emotions, ego, this is just that part of the iceberg, small. How does the iceberg melt? The lakes around it, they need the warmth of the water that will melt the iceberg. So as you do body processes, breath work, yoga, even 1 hour of yoga, when you come to do the yoga, you're in a stressful mind. When you leave the yoga, you are so relaxed. What happened? Where did all of those thoughts, emotions, ego go? They all got dissolved in the body. Because body sensations, body is the bigger lake in which the iceberg can melt. So this is why breath work, yoga, dancing, chanting, all of this is relevant, because it starts dissolving the iceberg of the mind filled with emotions, ego. You cannot think out of this, your way out of this. That I will stop thinking doesn't work like that. That is the iceberg just being the ice. There is no water. You have to surrender to the body, breath, those processes, so that the iceberg can start dissolving.
This allows the contents of the unconscious mind, including the shadow, which is the unconscious part of the ego, to release and dissolve.
And something very important being shared, it begins with the conscious mind, but that's the tip of the iceberg. Then starts dissolving the subconscious mind. The biggest problem of the ego is the unconscious. The unconscious ego that you're not even conscious of. That's due to social conditioning or even body DNA. You inherited it from your past lives. That's the biggest part. If you look at the iceberg, that's the biggest part. It's at the bottom. And you have to reach that. And that is where all these processes help. Deep breath work, very intense yoga practice, all of these things can help you go deep into the unconscious, start to dissolve those.
This was the path followed by Parvati, and she will speak on this in another book in the near future.
Oh, that would be such a great honor to receive her teachings. Thank you for letting us know. Does the mind become empty as it surrenders?
So this was shared a while back, maybe 15 years, not 15, 2025. So this was shared in 10 years ago about Parvati Ma's book, which is now done, which she just mentioned.
And dissolves within the body?
It is not just that the mind becomes empty, but that emptiness merges with the mind and subsumes it. As this happens, mind, body, soul, and emptiness become one. For it is the mind that creates all divisions. Emptiness is the state of having no mind, in which there is ultimate oneness. Suffering is the state of mind in which there is much division. Emptiness is the state in which form is emptiness and emptiness is form. Suffering is the state in which emptiness remains hidden from form.
Is the mind totally gone in the state of emptiness?
Yes, the mind with its contents dissolves into body sensations, soul feelings, and emptiness. Of course, the mind will arise again when needed, and then will dissolve again. A divine being may not have a single thought if it is not needed for periods extending into eons. When the desire for expansion arises, a single thought may manifest with great cosmic power and intelligence, sometimes creating worlds from this place of emptiness.
Just in these few lines, there's like immense wisdom and stories about the world. Even, one line is so deep. So, what is being shared here is that the nature of emptiness and how the mind dissolves into it. And it's not that the mind dissolves forever. So, let's say you're enlightened and now you don't think thoughts for minutes. They say even if you could not think a thought for, say, 6 minutes, you are at a very high enlightened state. Because thoughts will come. But enlightenments get deeper and deeper. So Saraswati Ma is saying there are divine beings who may not think a thought for eons, and yet they think. So this is to be reflected upon, this magic. It's not that the mind dissolves forever. On earth, when there are enlightened beings, yes, they don't think like normal humans do. They have a gift that now they just sit in meditation, or they're just sitting watching a sunset. No thoughts will arise. But even for them, after some time, maybe after an hour, there'll be a thought. If you're more enlightened, let's say beyond these realms, maybe a thought will happen every 2 years. Even more deep divine being, maybe a thought happens after hundreds of years. Deeper divine being, a thought happens after eons. Not only the thoughts happen less, but they are much more powerful. Our thoughts don't manifest so easily. But as you get more and more enlightened, anything that you think will manifest. And that is how the worlds are created. This entire universe arose from some great divine being, very deep divine being, as infinite as the whole universe. That divine being had a thought, and a universe was created. But that thought may have happened after eons, after sometimes even billions of years. A thought comes and a whole universe is created. So what is being shared here is the nature of mind. It dissolves, there is no thinking, but it does arise again. There is some thought again. That's the play of creation. It never completely goes away. Even after enlightenment, you will think, but now your thoughts will be fewer. They'll be to remove suffering in the world. They will be, for your mission, soul mission. But it won't be scattered thinking, fragmented thinking all of the time. So that's what's being shared.
Are you saying that the worlds arise from a single thought?
Everything animate and inanimate in the universe is made up of emptiness. So one may say everything is made up of nothing. Just like a physicist would say that gravity is nothing but curved space, an enlightened one would say that soul feelings are nothing but curved spaces of emptiness. As emptiness vibrates most delicately to create the primordial joy, it simultaneously creates contrast by curving itself into the higher density of thought. The first thought divides the primordial joy into numerous soul feelings, from which arise entire universes made up of souls, bodies, and minds.
Oh, really? You are saying that everything is literally made up of curved spaces of emptiness.
Yes. Know that behind each thought, each emotion, each body sensation, and each soul feeling is the yearning to uncurve or uncover these curved spaces in order to realize the infinite emptiness.
So, some deep metaphysical wisdom how this infinite emptiness, the curving of it, it's vibrating a little bit, curving a little bit, and that creates soul feelings, that creates from soul feelings infinite primordial joy before the universe was created. From that little more curving arises the universes, bodies, everything. Sort of similar to science in this way that everything, even in superstring theory that connects Einstein's relativity with quantum mechanics, the two fields that could not come together, then you have string theory, in that everything just begins with the vibration. So this infinite emptiness curving and also connects in some metaphysical way with, the definition of gravity and all of that, which is uh, the curving of space as gravity and Einstein's relativity. So a bit of deep metaphysics, but all that it is saying is this, that the infinite emptiness of the higher self, that you can say curves or dances or whatever happens to that, and from that then starts arising soul feelings which are curved emptiness. And more curvature, more soul feelings get more entangled, they become physical creations like universes. And the more sensations get entangled, they become the mind filled with emotions and all of that. So it's that same energy, it's curving and curving and curving, becoming less and less in terms of consciousness. Begins with complete bliss freedom of the higher self, starts curving, becomes a little bit less, but still is experienced as amazing bliss, is just less than what it was. And then that curves a little bit less and a little bit less, and it's a great falling of the higher self to who you are right now. And now we have to uncurve through meditation. Uncurve and uncurve and uncurve. Become, deep in meditation, you just become the body. And then just become the soul. There are times when I've meditated many times when you can get the lower chakras, higher chakras joining together. The body becomes very light, as if it has no weight. And when that bliss and no weight your body is becoming like the soul, becoming like the rainbow body. It can happen. When it happens over extended periods, then you can feel the results in the body. Otherwise, you just feel it for a little bit of time. So you're uncurving. Rainbow body is an uncurving of the body into the soul. The soul can uncurve into the higher self. So that's the process. So the wisdom for today is that there is a grand infinity that we could be living in, and we choose to live in the iceberg. And how does the iceberg now uncurve into who we really are? We'll finish it here because it's 7:05, and we'll continue from, let me mark the time here. It was on the audio, and we will begin right here next time. Any questions, any sharing by anybody?
Sir, I have a sharing.
Sure.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So after the
Come up.
last class,
Yeah.
I was thinking about the joy and primordial joy and the soul feelings, and I thought, how do God see like us, or suppose a beggar is there? Immediately after the class, I was already tuned in with you, so I was
Suppose, no, you
shown.
said what? Suppose what is there?
Suppose a beggar, how do
Beggar.
you feel
Okay.
joy? How do gods feel joy? Or a person in unison feels joy? So I was shown like I was taken as if flying to a beggar was there in Turkey. I got that feeling,
Yeah.
and like his soul came out. His body is like a envelope and of a rubber, like cover of our mobile cover, and
Yeah.
his soul is a small ball, white ball. It came out, and I felt as if I'm inside a goddess. And she said, so you chose this body this time, how is your learning going on? And that soul said, yes, it's going on fine, that way. And the feeling was joy, that happy to see a part of yourself, like child, you see your child, that happiness I felt. And I said, so this is the primordial joy and the soul feelings. So I was told that soul feelings are the outer covering, it's all rooting from primordial joy, and the so that is rooting further, that is rooting from love, deep love. The soul is nothing, just love, pure love. Light is love, nothing else. We just compartmentalize, like we it's like a atom of love. Every soul is a part of that love, pure love. Like, that was entirely different experience, sir.
And you experience this in your meditation?
Yes, like
Wow,
whenever
wonderful.
I talk to you, I see Mother Lakshmi in you, and after the class, I'm like in that trance after your class. So I keep sitting for a couple of minutes, trying to tap into your energy. Then I see all this.
So the beautiful thing that you shared was that you were shown this through a beggar, and sometimes there's a lot of judgment about, some of the beggars, are they really happy? And sometimes they're happier than the richest people because there's a lot of freedom, not like when they're completely suffering. So we are judging too much about consciousness, who is feeling what. The richest person could be living like an iceberg into their ego, and someone like Jesus just walks freely, doesn't have much, and could be living with infinite consciousness. And what you're saying about the soul feelings, yes, it's completely true that as you go deeper, the joy becomes love, love becomes gratitude, gratitude becomes compassion. All of it is joined in oneness. There's not a feeling of this is joy and this is love. It's all together because soul feelings merge. The separation of soul feeling is also the falling. We fell from the higher self, the soul feeling separated. Something became joy, something else became love in our mind, but they were not separate. This is all one, and this is what you were being shown. You called it all becomes love. Somebody might say all becomes bliss, but that bliss includes love, right? So love is a sense of all of this, like joy is a sense of all of this. You cannot say it is all love and pain because joy is the essence of all of this. Okay, there are some more questions. Is that good? I will then
Thank
go.
you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Harish, you had a question? Yeah,
Hi, sir. Thank you for
hi.
the opportunity, sir. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it was amazing the way you explained it. The
Yeah.
voice, actually, MJ, we are following something, I mean, the dream, just going to sleep mode. So
Mm.
I have a question about that. You mentioned about, the when we do the meditation, the body become very light. Yes, I felt
Yeah.
so many times actually.
Yeah.
So that means you mentioned that it the communication between the two chakras, right? Chakras. That's what the meaning, sir. Because when the body is very light and we feel like we are flying in the air,
Hmm.
so that mean the chakras are connecting, sir. That's the meaning.
Yeah. What happens when the lower and higher chakras come together?
Mm-hmm.
Lower chakras are more grounded into the earth and they make you feel the body more. The root
Mm-hmm.
chakra, the second, third. And the heart and the above, they make you feel the heavens more.
Mm-hmm.
And when these start joining, which happens sometimes with breath work, because you go deep into the root, you are breathing. There's
Yeah.
some processes even in you know Babaji's kriyas, and even in Devi kriya,
Mm-hmm.
which Babaji used to love also. There are processes for the root, for we breathe at four different centers, and it's very important to wear loose clothing when you do Devi Kriya. No tight clothing on the body.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you just wear loose clothing, there's a flow in all of the chakras, and with breath and with all of that. And as you surrender deeply into this and go into those places in between the in breath and out breath, and the breath becomes shallow and it starts merging, and you are feeling the energetic movement in the chakras through the breath. Slowly it can happen that the body becomes very light. You experience that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is a meeting of the soul in the body. The
Mm.
infinity is
Okay.
meeting you.
Okay.
And from our dense state, we feel gravity
Yep.
because gravity is connected to the mind. But as you go beyond the mind, you start moving away from gravity also. And some people, very physically, they can raise themselves, they can levitate. But that's a very high state of
Yeah.
enlightenment. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Understand.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
So,
Yeah, go
yes,
on.
sir. I
Yeah,
got your answer. Yeah, sorry, sir. I have one more question, sir.
yeah.
So regarding the thoughts, sir, you mentioned that maybe I'm misunderstood or not. So thought when we have a thought, right? So somewhere whatever we are thinking, right? That is we are creating ourselves somewhere. It's already created or it's we are creating, sir, based on our thoughts. Whether whether it's a good or bad, but still sometimes the thoughts will come, right? So are we creating any new uh, I don't know how to explain it. Are we
Good
creating any
question.
new? Yeah. So are we
Uh,
creating anything, sir? Like, in parallel something?
it's a good question, except almost all of it already exists. What you're doing
Mm.
is choosing.
Okay.
So you walk into a room, there's a lot of anger. Somebody was sitting there in anger, and
Mm.
you don't know that. And you'll sit there and you'll start feeling some uneasiness, and some
Correct.
thought will come and you'll get angry. You're
Yep.
now just vibrating. You're like, it's a radio, you're tuning into that station.
Mm,
So
mm.
that is why it's important through meditation to tune into the childhood and lifetimes where you had lightness.
Mm.
You're tuning into those realms. Or you can think and tune into places of density. So it is not so much you are creating, but you're connecting.
Oh,
You're
okay,
connecting with this realm or that realm, because almost everything that you see already exists.
okay,
So you
okay.
get this illusion that you are creating it, but it's not
Oh,
so much
okay,
that you are creating it, but you're connecting.
okay, okay.
That's
I
what's
got it.
really happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you
No,
can
actually,
always choose to
mm,
connect in a different way.
okay. No, actually, I had that experience, so many times. Even
Yeah.
when I have a call, I mean, I'm not directly seeing that person or anyone. Even I'm trying to call before I dial the number, I have got some intuition. Okay, maybe something is not correct. Then when they pick the call, so we see that the same information we are getting from the opposite people, or sometime okay, we feel very happy. Okay, we are going to get some good message. Then yeah, we are getting the good messages. So so I don't know what is that, whether whether our thought it's happening, or I mean it's creating, or is already created, we are just
It
getting the
gives you
intuition. But I
it,
understand your
it
yeah,
gives you an illusion of creation. You know why?
yeah, yeah.
Because there are multiple worlds, there are parallel universes.
Mm.
With the parallel
Got
universes, what happens is you pick one,
it. Mm.
right? So it already exists. All of that can happen already exists. But because you're choosing one and then you're choosing another, you are thinking you are creating.
Mm. Mm.
But already exists, but you're choosing here and then you're choosing there. So sometimes it will appear as if you did something new, right? Because if
Yes.
it was only one universe, then it's all deterministic. But
Mm.
life is
Mm.
not deterministic. We know that there is free will,
Yeah,
right? It's not completely deterministic.
yeah,
And the resolution to that happens, you are in one universe, you are choosing, and then suddenly your consciousness changes, you become more joyful, and now
yeah.
you're connecting with another part of the universe. So you're on
Mm.
a different timeline now.
Mm.
So,
Mm.
but all of those things existed. That's what I'm saying.
I understand, sir. I
Yeah.
totally understand that. Thank you very
Yeah.
much,
Yeah.
sir.
Welcome.
Actually, mainly that this book really attracted me because I mean, since childhood, I'm really a big fan of Sitama.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I love Sitama actually. So whenever I speak about Sitama, even I named, her, say okay Sitama, then I feel like my right side ear, right? I feel like some cloth, something, touching in my, right ear. So only the
Ah,
right side, only I feel that way. Yeah, since
yeah.
childhood. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Even,
must connect to. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's
even
what.
though,
Yeah,
yes,
go
sir.
on.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, sorry to interrupt, sir. So even though, like, I didn't realize it, even my last name also, it's connected with Sitama. So
Mm,
it's
nice.
because I feel like since, childhood, I mean, even my birth, I understand that, she's with me, and every day, every seconds and every minute, I feel like, she's always with me. And that's the main thing, this book is really attracted me because I saw the same the book review, one of the other channels, PMC, they were talking about this book, so it's really attracted me. Then they talk about Sitama, then I was I feel like I'm in heaven. So I
Mm,
was flying
mm.
on that one. So now I want to learn more, and I want to hear from you, sir, because I bought the book, and now you are reading and line by line, so I want to hear from you about Sitama more. So I'm just waiting for that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those
Thank you, sir. I
chapters
really
will.
appreciate. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, those chapters will be coming soon. Thanks for
Yes,
sharing.
sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Maheshwari.
sir.
Yeah,
Namaste, Guruji.
namaste.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you. Thank you.
Even though I don't know now the language, I am deeply experiencing an extraordinary. indescribable energy in this session. Guruji, love you, Guruji. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you, Maheshwari ji. Your name says it all. Hmm. Ishwari, Maha Ishwari. So feel the goddess within you, and we're resonating in that primordial joy and love in which you recognize the gurus and the guru within you, which is opened, awakened. So thank that guru within you. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so 7:21, I think we are done, and we shall meet again. Okay, thank you everybody for joining. Close your eyes. Thank Saraswati Ma. Thank Lakshmi Ma, Parvati Ma, Kuan Yin, everybody. They join with us in these sessions. So tell other people about these sessions. They're special because there's a lot of goddess energy that comes in. And I'll see you next week. Thank you.